Hey Waylon, so I want to break this up into kind of our two parts we were working on. First being the elbows with that medial elbow pain. Again, I always attack things kind of three ways: inflammation, and then the mobility, and then the strength. So for your inflammation here, it's obviously, especially that left one still has some tenderness. I think icing, again, I'm kind of more of a short stint, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 tops. Icing once to twice a day. Save that for after activity, after work, end of the day, kind of when it's maybe a little bit angry at you. Even if it's not terribly angry, let's go ahead and ice at least once a day for maybe this first week or two, and just kind of get all that inflammation that you have kind of stored in there out. Get it feeling as good as we have left it today, leaving the clinic. That, other inflammatory maneuvers. I'm okay with some light massage, but again, make sure it's more in the muscle belly. We're not actually hitting the hot spot. And then the other thing there that we could do, I wasn't a huge fan of doing it yet today because really you were moving pretty good, would be maybe some sort of a sleeve, tape it, wrap it. They do make elbow sleeves. They make tennis elbow bands that are pretty good. I'll send you a link to one of those. That would be more, hey, I need to get things done, and I just don't want this to be so mad in the process. We can't, obviously we talk about avoidance and not letting this thing get angry, but obviously life happens. You got to care for a kid, you got to care for a house, and if you're just going to be physical and that's where like a sleeve or a band would come in handy. I don't want you to put a band on it and then go do a bunch of pull-ups, because we know that's going to make it angry. So just maybe we'll wait a few days, kind of see how it talks to you, but I can send you a tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, tennis elbow. It's the same sleeve. It's just a band that goes around just below the joint. You don't put that where it hurts. You put it right there on the meat of the muscles there. So that's it for inflammation. Ice, a little bit of support. Other than that, just be really smart and don't let it get too flared up. For mobility, I think your go-to is going to be this stretch. Again, think about it. That rotation changes things too. The more you rotate it this way, a little bigger stretch there. It doesn't need to be the biggest stretch you've ever had. It's just more, hey, the more often you can assume this position throughout the day, and whether it's on the table, your own hands doing the work, again, it's down with just a little bit of a turn there. That really adds to that inner stretch. Do it up against the wall, whatever you got. That position, comfortably, lightly, throughout the whole day would be amazing. That's really about, I think, all you need there. And then the last one is the strength. I think we're pretty much relegated to those holds, pull-up bar holds. Again, underhand grip, overhand grip, I don't really care. That way we're putting strain through the muscle, but not so much strain where it's hurting the insertion on the bone. So you want to slowly start to utilize them again, work them in a pain-free manner. They will grow on their own. We don't need to do a bunch of curls or wrist work or anything like that, I don't think. So I really think, just follow that process. This is not about getting this thing better tomorrow, because that's not going to happen. It's been happening for years. This is going to be just, 1% better every day, we're hoping. And, you might have a few really good days, and it might get really mad. That's okay. Back to the ice, back to the stretch, lay off the overuse, and then you're back on the horse. So this might yin and yang a little bit, but that's pretty typical. Very similar story for the foot. Inflammation, again, not near as bad on the foot. I don't mind. Ice is a little bit more difficult there. If you want to ice the bottom of the foot, be my guest. I really think that one is more the mobility. Your answer there is going to be these just stretching and getting some sort of calf stretch in, whether you're just here and hanging out and writing emails and whatever you can do in this position. If you want it to be a little more dynamic, and you're maybe doing kind of one of these old school, runners type stretches and kind of working through it that way, I'm okay with that. Just make sure the bottom of the foot's happy. I'll send you a link to the stretch blocks. Those can be handy down the road for other lower body work. As far as a protocol there, I really don't have one. I kind of like the forearm stretching as often as you can for as long as you can. I don't see us getting to a point anytime soon where you are too flexible in your calves. Doesn't seem possible right now. They're not bad, and your joints are great, but just definitely that upper calf is pretty tight. And then for strength for the foot, again, not a lot needed right now. I don't think you're missing a lot there. So I really think I'm going to oversimplify the foot and say, let's stick with stretching only for now. A little bit of ice, a little bit of massage. If you want to keep rolling it, be my guest, but I think tightness was the culprit on that one. Again, I'm okay with biking. We talked about maybe changing, the handles, and you want a little more over to the top as opposed to being in that big stretch. That's kind of hard there, so maybe change that or go to those neutral grips. If you want to start playing around a little bit with, countertop push-ups or some light upper body work, I'm fine with that. Just, again, we're not looking for pain on that spot. And the second you get it, you got to readjust. So I hope that helps you, man. I hope what we did today keeps it calm for a while, and then you can kind of keep building from there. And I will see you in a few weeks, and we'll do it again. All right, take care. Bye.